everybody, this is Braun from my backyard. Today we're going to be making air fryer fried chicken. You're looking at a beautiful Dyes Inlet in Bremerton, Washington. Let's go inside and make some chicken. We're going to start making our air fryer chicken, and the most important part of making the air fryer chicken is the seasoning. I make so much of this that I actually going to give you the numbers to make this amount here, which is enough for about 40 to 60 pieces of chicken, because you really don't have to be very heavy-handed with it. I have 5 tablespoons of salt, 1 tablespoon plus 2 teaspoons of pure ground black pepper, 2 tablespoons, 1.5 teaspoon of paprika, 2.5 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2.5 teaspoons of onion powder, and 1 3/4 teaspoons of cayenne pepper. That will make this amount of seasoning, and it's good for a long time. I keep it in a closed container, but for this demonstration we're going to use this shaker here. I have washed the chicken and it has air dried for quite some time, and I'm going to go ahead and transfer it into a bowl where I'm going to season it. I always wear gloves because I like to season the chicken, give it a good healthy amount, and then I like to stir it up by hand to get a good coating on it, and then I'm just going to simply cover it and put it in the fridge overnight. But the overnight thing is important because this seasoning will penetrate into the skin deeply. That's why sometimes you want to do it for 2 nights. It's not going to hurt it. But you can see, based on what I had and what I've used for 4 pieces of chicken, that will easily do 40 to 60 pieces of chicken and not be overpowering. So we're all seasoned up here. I'm just going to go ahead and cover it up and put it in the fridge overnight. And we'll come back and fry this up. The chicken's been brining overnight.
So is your liver.
On that note, so we're going to go ahead and get our egg wash ready, which is, we only have 4 pieces that we're going to do for this demonstration, so I'm just going to use 2 eggs. So I was going to crack them one-handed, but I didn't want to show off. I usually use maybe half a shot, or half a shot, maybe even a whole shot, depending upon how much of this Frank's. But since we're just using 2 eggs, I'm just going to put a splash in here. Really gives it that extra zip. That was a pretty good shot there. We're going to whip these up super good to the same exact consistency. You can really smell that Frank's, but it doesn't turn out that powerful, so don't be afraid of it. It's all a part of the process. Turns out really, really good. All right, we've got our egg mixture ready to go. The next thing we're going to do is dredge it and put it in our Kentucky kernel seasoned flour concoction. One option you can use is just add the seasoning mix that we mixed up earlier into your regular flour. I saw this Kentucky kernel on several other people's fried chicken videos, and it's a very, very good complement to the seasoning mix that we use on chicken already. I tried it once, I've always used it since then. So let's go ahead and get the chicken out. All right. Next thing I do is I dredge the chicken and I let all the excess egg come off, so you don't have to be too worried about, and I just do that by putting it on a cookie sheet and let all the excess egg drip off, so you're not getting caked up flour on your chicken. I'll let it sit for a couple minutes. Once I'm done with this, let all the excess drip off, and then I'll simply just put it in the flour bag, just like regular old school shake and bake, and get it caked on there really good. Once I'm done with that, we'll go ahead and take it off and put it on a sheet pan and put it in the fridge for like 20 minutes to make sure that flour gets on there really, really good. And then we'll be ready to go on to the next step. Egg wash is drained for about 20 minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and put it in our Kentucky kernel flour. Here, I prefer to do one piece at a time. It takes a little while longer, but that way you just minimizes the mess. Like I said, you just want to shake it up like regular old shake and bake, and I like to make sure I squeeze the piece of chicken and make sure it gets on there really, really good and really deep. Because a lot of people will want to do this 3 and 4 times each piece, and I have found it's not necessary if you do it this using my method. We've got the last one in here, and what we're going to do after this, like I said, we're going to put it in the fridge to make for a good 20 minutes to make sure that all this flour sticks and doesn't want to fall off in the air fryer. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. We're about ready to pull the chicken out of the refrigerator. Some people choose to preheat their air fryer. I've done it both ways. I've saw 0 difference. So as you can hear, it's not on. We're not preheating it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the chicken out now and explain the next step. You can see that the flour has gotten much thinner and all that because we didn't put a heavy coat on it. Some people prefer that big, huge, breaded, lumpy. I do not, and it turns out great. So I'm going to go ahead and start the air fryer first. Not really considered preheating. I do 360 for 13 minutes, and I check it usually at 10 minutes. So we'll start this now. And I'm simply going to spray olive oil cooking spray. Not too heavy, but not too light. We want to look for those white spots as much as possible. Make sure you hit those real good. But if you miss some, it's not going to matter because once you go to flip it at the 10 to 13 minute mark, you're going to see those white spots and spray them before you flip. And vice versa on the other side. Want to give it some separation so they're not touching as much as possible, but sometimes it's not possible. I'm only doing 4 pieces. Normally I jam 6 in here. Go ahead and spray the top. And we wait for about 10 minutes. Alright, we're at 3 minutes now. You can see quite a bit of white spots on here, so we're going to go ahead and hit those. It doesn't quite look like it's ready to rock yet. So we're going to go ahead and give it the additional 3 minutes. Or 2 minutes and 44 seconds. And then we'll pull it out, flip it over, hit the white spots on that side, and then put it in there for another 13 minutes. And check it at 10 again, maybe even 9. See how we're looking as far as doneness, and we're almost there. All right, our 13 minutes is up. As you can see, looks pretty good. I do not believe we need any more, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just a quick misting. We're going to go ahead and flip these over in place. Don't need to get fancy. Just make sure we're getting the other side. And as you can see, like I said, there's quite a bit of white spots here, so we're going to hit those. Again, we're going to check these at 10 minutes, so we're just going to repeat step 1, turn it on, put it on 360, Set our timer to 13 minutes, check it at 10, maybe even 9. I did select some bigger pieces, so we'll probably check it at 10 and see where we're at with doneness and flour spots, and we're almost there. We're almost at the 10-minute mark, close to it, so we're gonna go ahead and check. We are really close, but I'm seeing a little bit of white there, so these are pretty big pieces, like I said. We're gonna go ahead and let it play out for the last 3 minutes, and we'll be ready to go. We're about to pull the chicken out, but the thing to remember is with chicken, you never want to eat it unless it's 165 in the internal temperature of the fattest part of the meat. So the timer goes off here in a few seconds. We're going to go ahead and pull it out. I'll pull one piece. We'll check the temperature, and if it's ready to go, we'll let it sit for long enough for it to be eating temperature, about 10 minutes. I prefer to grab the biggest one, that way you know the rest of them are done. Don't want it up against the bone either. Oh, we're done. We're way done. We're more than done, but you can't hurt legs. They're so tender. So yeah, we'll pull them out. That's another secret right there. I don't know if you saw that. When you pull with chicken, especially, if you pull the thermometer out, if there's any color to the juices that come out, it's not done. And well, I saw it on the initial pull, but it was clear. That means you're done also, if you don't have a thermometer. So we wait, and then we taste. We've let the chicken cool for about 10 minutes, and it's time for the taste test with my beautiful wife, Gina.
Oh, very good. Very, very good.
Are you lying?
No. Too bad you can't have a bite, Brent.
Oh, as soon as I set this camera down, I'm eating a piece.
It's very good.
It is very good.
All right, well, thanks, guys.
Until next time.